Hi, my digital friends. How are you? I'm glad you're out there. And, you know, Bruce is taking another night off tonight. He has a well-earned, well-deserved break, a little rest. I talked to him on the phone today. He was in very good form. So in Bruce's absence, guess who last night was Andrew McLaren, earlier in the week, Paddy. Guess who I'm working with tonight?
This is the man, and it's just the way he thought it would be, 'cause the day has come for him to be free. Then he laughs and kicks and rolls up his sleeves. I'm alive and I'm here forever. This is the man.
What an unexpected pleasure.
Hello, Phil. Very good to see you. Good evening to all the Nightliners, and it's always lovely to be here. And with Bruce having a night off back on Sunday, Stephen Beers and Nicole Denton, our General Manager and Program Director, said, would you like to fill in and work with Phil tonight? I said, I'd love to. So it's good to see you.
Well, Friday was always your night by tradition during the summer months.
That's right. And I tell you what, it's funny because people say, are Fridays happening? Or, you know, now things have changed a little bit and they get a bit used to things. People get locked into routines. You're very much a routine person, aren't you, Phil?
Yes, I am. People say, oh, we feel so sorry for you. Oh, you work till midnight every. Oh, you don't get home. You know, I'm conditioned from my early days in television. In Melbourne Tonight didn't end till 11 o'clock at night. From the start of my working life, I was a night owl, always. I prefer to work after dark.
And it was always very much on time too. I mean, it wouldn't be, you couldn't be late for In Melbourne Tonight.
No.
The show wasn't going to wait for you.
That's absolutely right.
So you're very nocturnal, aren't you?
Except when I was on the Gold Coast for 5 years, I had a 9 a.m. till midday shift. So I was working at the other end of the clock, those 5 years up north. But no, I prefer to work after dark somehow.
Well, I did mid-dawn for a lot of years.
Yes.
Friday nights, Saturday nights into Sunday mornings or into Saturday mornings. And you sort of get used to it, and it really mucks around with your body clock if you've got to do early morning meetings or things like that.
Of course, I understand. But, you know, it's so good to have your company. We'd love your calls on 96900 693. We're going to have twice the fun in half the time. I must tell you two Oro stories.
Oh, here we go.
He's really grown. My little golden retriever, born on the 2nd of May. I'll show you a picture while we're chatting about him. Two things. One, very disappointing. I feed wild birds in my garden, and this afternoon he jumped on a little rainbow lorikeet, which really upset me because normally they're up high in the trees, but this one was down on the ground. Did
it manage to get away?
Yes, I think so, because I grabbed him by the collar and forced his mouth open, and they only sort of have soft gum, soft jaws, so I think the bird escaped and hopefully has flown back home again to his roost. But that's just a natural instinct for them to be bird dogs.
He's not doing anything wrong, you know, so, but I'm glad the bird got right. Now, how do you spell Oro?
Oro is O-R-O, which is Spanish for Inca gold. Oh, yeah.
How did you get to Oro? Because your other dogs have all had quite different names.
Luke and Matt, and very ordinary names. No, I have family in Colombia, South America, and when they saw a picture of him when he was born, they said, and because of his colouring, you just have to call him Oro. So it sort of suits him.
Does he have a middle name?
No, Oro. He is simply Oro Brady. But let me tell you something really cute, and I love this. I have a cuckoo clock, which you might know, on my landing, and an antique clock, which needed repairing. And I brought over today a guy called Kevin, one of our clients, so I can mention he's from A Watch in Time. They spend money on the station.
Yes.
Very nice people. And he got my cuckoo clock going again, and suddenly, every hour on the hour, Oro was up the hall, fascinated. Waiting. He, like 5 minutes before the hour, he will go and wait in front of that clock, not only to hear the cuckoo, cuckoo.
But see it pop out.
The little bird pops out. And, of course, after dark, like 8 o'clock at night, you get 8 cuckoos, and 9 o'clock you get 9. It's just amazing. He makes his way up the hall, and I think he wants to pounce on the cuckoo as well.
I was thinking
he's thinking, oh, there's another bird.
He's jumped on the bird out in the backyard, that he might go for that.
Yeah.
Cuckoo clocks, they were very much a part of every home for a long time, weren't they?
Yeah, this is an antique from Bavaria originally, and I do love it. It's got these antler horns and everything. You know, and I don't have many antiques in my home, apart from Edna and Jill occasionally. Oh.
And does Oro growl at the cuckoo clock, or he just watches?
Just watches, just fascinated, trying to pounce on it, which is hard because it's halfway up the wall. Which prompts me to suggest, would you like to phone in tonight if you have pets, even a cat, and they have unusual habits, you know, like Oro?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear about them.
And
I don't think you're much of an animal person. I don't hear you talking about dogs and cats much.
I love them. I love them, Phil. In the family home, we always had cats.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved them. There was Mandy and there was Sandy. And fortunately, they lived very long lives. And we have an adopted dog at home that's not ours, but it pops in from another property.
Nice.
And we feed it. And I can tell you, I go and buy the food and I look after it. And it's, you know, it sort of comes around. But I've always said, and in the office in Latrobe Street, when we were at 382 Latrobe Street, I had a picture above my desk, and it was of a dingo that I had for a day, and I always said I would love to have a dingo. Now,
was that when you were on Fraser Island in Queensland? Where'd the dingo come from?
No, the dingo was actually in Melbourne. It was, and now there's a dingo farm up near Mount Macedon.
Really?
I think Lynn Watson is her name. But I've always said if I would love to have had a dingo, but also I'd love to have a dog, and I'll tell you a quite emotional story, actually. The Lost Dogs Home from North Melbourne came here to Media House. We have a grassed area downstairs.
Yes.
And they popped in one day and they brought 5 or 6 dogs around. They were sort of doing this community cause where you walk with the dog. So whether it's around the block here, and they said, look, will some of the on-air people and some of the exec team come down? And they said, will you pop down? I said, I'd love to. So I popped down, and there'd been 5 dogs sitting there, not taking a lot of interest in people. And I went down in my suit, and as I approached the lady on the corner here, this dog just looked at me and came over and didn't push me over, but jumped up, started licking my face. They went, oh, you've got a suit on. I said, oh, that's okay.
Yes.
And they said, he doesn't take well to people. And I said, well, we're having a great time. They said, can we get a photo? And I said, yes. And I sat on the lawn with him. He would not leave me, Phil. And I looked at them. I said, oh, you know what? I would love this dog. I said, if my wife, you know, we got to have time for a dog. Now, this will be a little bit of trivia for you. He wouldn't leave me. Very strong dog, very good-looking dog. He had that real look about him. And the things they said, you'd need a big area. If you let him into the lounge room, he'd probably, you know, pull everything apart.
Yes.
Very active, would need a big...
A hound, something hound?
And going on that way, we might have a prize. I'm sure Bianca's got some prizes.
All right. Now, in the meantime, have a look at my gorgeous boy and describe him. He's 8 months old. There's a picture taken by Rick and Trish. My breed is a Gruyere.
Well, for a layperson, Oro looks to me like a sort of a Labrador pup. That's what he looks like.
He's a golden retriever.
And he's got beautiful, beautiful colouring. Sort of the ears are different to the main coat.
Yeah, he's very creamy in colour, and he's 36 kilograms in weight already. Could knock me over.
And he's probably got a bit of attitude too, because he's got that look like I'm the boss.
Yeah, I'm only the housekeeper.
So he's fantastic. Well done, Oro. I'm having a look at you. Not great for radio for the listeners.
No, but you
we'll put it on the website.
Now, an SH, and this was a dog that almost adopted you.
Yes.
Have we got prizes tonight? Yeah, okay. First person who identifies the dog after the break will win a prize from David and Phil.
We might even do. We'll decide during the break.
Hey, it's already 10:17.
20 past 10 on a Friday evening, Melbourne 3AW 693. Phil at Brady is sitting opposite me. I'm David Mann, and we're trying to pick the breed of the dog that I fell in love with from the Lost Dogs Home in North Melbourne, and the people there do a great job. They really are great. And I think, Phil, we both like the Pancake Parlour. Lovely. Simon Meadmore and Nicole and the team. $50.
We should go out there tonight at midnight. It's open 24 hours at Doncaster.
Doncaster, and I think High Point and Malvern East.
That's right.
How's that? That's not a script.
So we're waiting for the breed of dog that took a shine to David, and the initials of the large dog are SH. First person to tell us the correct answer wins that Pancake Parlour prize.
$50 Pancake Parlour voucher. Pancake Parlour open 24 hours at High Point, Doncaster, Malvern East. Lovely.
Maybe John has the answer at Chadstone. Hi, John.
Good evening, boys.
Hello, John.
What's the breed of dog?
foxhound.
A foxhound? No, John. Have you got a dog though?
Oh, I don't have a dog now. I don't believe in dogs in the city.
Oh.
I come from the country,
Oh, what part of the country, John?
Wangaratta.
Oh, lovely place, Wangaratta. I actually went there and I did a chat for the Order of Australia Association at the RSL there, and lots of people were there. And that part of the country is famous for Brown Brothers Vineyard, isn't it?
At Millawar.
Yes.
That's right. That's exactly right.
How far is that from Wangaratta?
Oh, about 12 mile.
And were you at Wangaratta for a while?
I lived there until I was 21.
Did you ever know a gentleman who, I called him, I think he was the mayor at one stage, Kevin Howard?
No, I didn't.
He's a wonderful gentleman, and I believe he was the mayor of Wangaratta at one stage.
Yeah, and hi to John Nolan, one of the directors of Radio 3AW Wangaratta.
Thanks,
Go on.
thanks, John, for your call.
No, I want to tell you about my dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
One of the first memories I had when I was a little boy was my father coming in about 6 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock closing in those days, and excuse me.
That's all right.
He had a ball of fluff in his hands, and he gave it to me, and he gave me a piece of paper, and I can remember the brown parchment to this day. I can't remember what was written on it, but I was told it was the Kennel Control Council of Australia.
Oh.
He was a purebred Cocker Spaniel.
Gee, I know that name from the Royal Melbourne Show. You always hear about the Kennel Control Council of Australia.
Do you really?
Yes.
And my father got 2 wheat bags and put it at the back door and put him down on the wheat bags. And he lay down and went to sleep, and he stopped there all night, and he always slept on these wheat bags. Anyway, Wangaratta becomes a very cold place in the winter, and we always had a big open fire in the dining room. And us kids would go out and try and get the dog and bring it inside because we thought it was cold. You had to hang on to it like hell because it would want to get outside again.
Oh, yeah, because
sleep on its bag.
They got their fur to keep them warm anyway. They don't need to be indoors. Great story. Thanks, John. Hi to all our friends in Wangaratta and surrounds.
And thanks also to Tony Moclair and John. Now, Oraglasso, how do you say John's surname, who was preceding us before 10 o'clock?
I don't think I've even met the guy.
Oh, really?
No, we just waved to each other at 10 o'clock.
John Oraglasso and Tony Moclair for doing the show up till 10 o'clock. It's always nice to thank the hosts.
Tony Mockbell anyway, and he laughs. He loves it. Good night, Tony Mockbell. He loves it.
You don't say that.
I do. I do. Yes.
Phil, you can get away with a lot. Cameron's on the line from Berwick. Hi, Cameron.
Oh, hello. I didn't know I was lined up for. Do you want me to guess first and then go on with what I wanted?
No, you don't need to. It's only for fun.
Oh, right. So I can. What do you say the initials? S for sin, or 10 times the speed of sound?
Gee.
It must go up beyond the pull of gravity to do that.
Yeah, so you could go into space.
Yes.
You know, go up above our atmosphere.
Yes, it would.
So
you can travel a lot quicker and cover more distance if you go up into space, of course.
Yeah, but who wants to go around the world in 11 minutes? You wouldn't have time to watch the in-flight movie.
Well, I think New York to London is 4 hours normally. Is that be about right?
Yeah, maybe up to 7 hours, I think, depending on the
somewhere
jet
between
stream.
5 and 7 hours.
Yes,
I'd say.
no.
But 11 minutes. Imagine it going from London to or New York to Sydney or Melbourne.
Oh, you'd be jet lagged.
You know, you just in a couple of hours. Imagine that.
is it a pipe? Is it going to be reality one day? What you're
It is.
talking about?
I've seen the prototypes for it. There's actually they've got the scale drawings and everything, and they've talked about this before, but this one's even quicker. But I believe that the United States has technology that we don't even know.
Oh,
about.
yeah, so, the stealth bomber was a secret for years.
Yep.
Interesting story. I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime, Cameron, but it's something to plan for the guy who's been everywhere.
Do you know what my Concorde story is, Phil?
No, I didn't know you'd flown Concorde.
No, the closest I've got is to this little story. Paul Stoddard, remember Paul, who had the Minardi racing team?
Sure.
Very great Australian, done very well in business, and he had a Formula One team, and then he mentored Mark Webber. But one of the things he did, he had an aviation business where he'd buy a lot of things, parts for planes around the world. And Paul purchased most of the Concorde seats. So when the Concorde stopped flying,
What did he do with them?
he purchased them all, and he was selling them as executive chairs. So you'd sit behind your desk, and the talking point was
Yes.
they weren't very comfortable, by the way, but you could buy one to be your
How smart was that?
chair, you know, behind the CEO's desk or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh.
And I always said to Paul, I said, well, if there's anything I can ever do for you, can I MC an event for you and you get me one of the seats from the Concorde?
yeah.
And he won't remember, but he said, look, I'll try and get you one. But I would love to have had that.
That'd be one upmanship, wouldn't it?
Piece of memorabilia.
Oh, how good would that be? Hey, Julianne's in Templestowe Lower. Hello, Julianne.
Hi. I'm thinking it's. Oh, you said it was a large dog?
Well, I don't want to sort of exaggerate it. It's not a little dog like a Pomeranian or something. It's a reasonably large dog. He was very powerful. That's the thing I remember when he jumped on me.
Okay, muscular Siberian Husky.
Oh, well done.
It was either that or the Shih Tzu.
Oh, yeah.
Julianne, you are so right.
I had a Shih Tzu.
And his name is, because he's been adopted, Ranger. And I said, what breed is he? And they said Siberian Husky. Had beautiful mark. Do you know the dog, the type of dog?
Yes. It's a big. They're muscular dogs.
Yes.
Yes, and they've got thick coats. I think the coats are thick of the undercoat.
Yes, well, he had a beautiful coat. I mean, obviously they were looking after him superbly, but apparently the story was that he'd been with somebody who just couldn't manage him because he was very active, needs to be walked, needs a big open space, and he needed to go to somebody like that. But I've still got the photos
they're
in the
gorgeous,
scrapbook.
those dogs, yeah.
Siberian Husky. Well, Julianne, have you been to the Pancake Parlour before?
I have, and I think I met you there many years ago.
Me?
Well, you were there once, and it was a long time ago when 3AW were doing some of those, go to the Pancake Parlour and...
Morning teas.
Yes, morning tea, and you looked at me. Now, this is the truth. You looked at me, and you said, hasn't she got a beautiful smile?
Oh.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was very nice of you. I've never forgotten it.
Well, the funny thing is...
3AW were doing some of those, go to the Pancake Parlour and...
Morning teas.
Yes, morning tea, and you looked at me. Now, this is the truth. You looked at me, and you said, hasn't she got a beautiful smile?
That was nice.
Yeah, it was very nice of you. I've never forgotten it.
Well, the funny thing is, a smile makes such a difference with people. It's not that hard. We did Pancake Parlour morning teas probably at the Jam Factory.
That's it. Exactly right.
It's amazing. Well, I hope you've still got a lovely smile. Well, you can go back there because, or you can go to one of the Pancake Parlours, $50 Pancake Parlour voucher. Pancake Parlour open 24 hours at High Point, Doncaster, Malvern East. And Ranger, a Siberian Husky.
Yeah.
Well done, Julianne.
Thank you.
Hang on for your prize with Bianca. And of course, they're the Siberian Huskies that race in the Iditarod in Alaska, you know. All those Siberian Huskies.
Pulling the sleds.
Yeah, mushing, it's called, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, you're
Mushing.
mushing when you're being pulled by these Huskies through the snow. That's what you're doing, you're mushing.
Well, see, there's something I've learned.
Yeah.
Mushing. I said a word in a meeting yesterday, and the chap stopped the whole meeting. He said, "Excuse me, can you say that word again?"
Tell
and
us
I
the
said,
word.
"Yes." Per diem.
Oh, yes, that'd be Latin for per day, perhaps.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, 2 words, per day.
Per diem means, and it's normally in the entertainment industry, where you'll get a per diem, and that will cover your meals, or perhaps your petrol, or even accommodation. It really sort of
That's right.
It's a payment, but it's called per diem. And I said the people were paid; they had a per diem, but they didn't have anything else. And he went,
That's right.
"What does that mean?"
You'll often read that in a contract or whatever. It's legalese. Yeah, I remember my schoolboy Latin. Hey, Dave, we have to take a break.
Days of
Yes, you
I had
were.
my size suit.
I know,
Very happy
I
with
knew
it.
you then. Yeah.
And I thought, oh, well, you know, and that's something that I always do, and I say to people, dress so because you don't know what the day will hold.
No, absolutely right. And Stephen, of course, built these very studios we're working in now. Stephen Beers built them personally, and we're overlooking the city. It's like being in New York, isn't it?
Oh, it's great having a window because in Latrobe Street, all those years ago, we were inside a building.
Of course.
At least Bank Street, you could look out. But this is looking over Southern Cross Station.
I feel I'm at WBMC in New York City. Hello, David Caulfield. Hi, Dave.
Good evening, David and Philip.
Hello, Dave.
Talking about going out to restaurants and people tapping on their phones or whatever they call them.
Yes.
We went out with this couple, me and my girlfriend, and we were sitting there, and all they did all night, there wasn't a word of conversation.
And they're just on their phones.
They're tapping away. I don't know who they were tapping to.
They're probably tapping to each other without talking to each other. Oh, it's
anyway,
crazy.
look, talking about dogs, my neighbour has just got a St Bernard puppy.
Yes.
And I said to my girlfriend, this was 2 weeks ago, I said, go over and tell her what she's going to have to put up with. Here comes a tram, so...
Where are you?
I'm in a phone box in Glenuntley Road. I think it's the only one left in Melbourne.
Tell me the number of the tram, Dave. What number was it?
67.
Okay.
And where's it going?
Swanson Street.
Okay, finish your story before you get run down.
No, he's in the phone box.
No, I'm in the phone box and then to come off the track.
So did you put the coins in?
I sent her over, warn her what she'll have to put up with. She's got, they're little puppies, but this thing's going to grow into this gigantic dog that'll be drooling all over the place, and she's only got this small place.
Yeah.
But no, she didn't take any notice.
Now, Dave, I'm just going to challenge one thing. You're in a phone box in Glen Huntly Road, Elstonwick, are you?
No, South Caulfield.
South Caulfield, near to what road? What's the nearest cross section?
The nearest road is Alder Street.
Alder Street.
ALD.
Alder Street. Alder Street. Alder Street and Glen Huntly Road, South Caulfield. Now, if there's anybody listening, either Nightliners who are going past 7 seconds delay, just give a toot as you go past the phone box, or a tram driver, ring the bell.
No, they do it anyway, so...
Hey, listen, Dave, listen to the Tiger song. Lucky you and a friend or a partner or girlfriend, whatever, you've won a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination.
No. Thanks very much, Phil, but the furthest I go is down to Elstonwick Station.
No, but buddy, can't you give it to a friend?
Yeah, I'll give it to a friend.
Oh, yeah, they're going to love you for this because they can go to Darwin or Gold Coast.
Yeah,
and go
I might even go to Tasmania and get a scallop pie.
Go to Hobart, go to Perth, Whitsunday Coast, and then next week, on Monday night, you might be eligible for return airfares and a week's accommodation for a whole family at the Hotel Mercure Bali League Inn, thanks to Tiger Air, who, Dave, fly direct from Melbourne to Bali starting March 23rd every day. You're in luck, Dave. Hang on for your prize.
It's exactly 11:45 on a Friday evening in Melbourne town. We've had a bit of rain today and rain predicted for the weekend, but I know Phil will cross to the Weather Bureau shortly. But wasn't Dave fun in the phone box? He's taken the time to go down to the phone box, pop the coins in, and that's a terrific prize because I think he's going to choose Hobart, but you can choose Brisbane, Cairns, Coffs Harbour, Darwin, the Gold Coast, Perth, Sydney, even Whitsunday Coast.
Oh, no, yeah. We're on the Whitsundays. Do you know where the stop is at?
I'm not sure.
Might be Proserpine or Mackay or something.
But coming up, I always like to sort of let you know first, Phil. And this is just you and I talking, and Bianca, the listeners. We're going to, a little further down the track, give away some Coffs Harbour holidays too. Not in this promotion, but a little further down with Tiger Air, some Coffs Harbour holidays. That's their new destination, but well done to Dave.
I always choose Tiger when I'm going interstate for preference. I just like the family atmosphere there, and every flight I've been on with Tiger has always been right on time, very punctual. They're very courteous, very friendly. It's a great way to fly.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Terminal 4. I haven't been into Terminal 4 at the Melbourne International Airport, but to go and see it, because before it was, even they admitted it was nice, but not as nice as this when you've got your own terminal and there's all the food and beverage outlets
Oh,
there.
yeah, it's very flash indeed. Terminal 4 for Tiger.
Herald Sun headlines for Harvey Norman. Shop with confidence online, mobile and in-store.
And Michelle Ainsworth, good evening as we look at the Saturday Herald Sun.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Michelle.
Our front page tomorrow, we've got obviously the latest on this tragic plane crash down at the Ballerine Peninsula, and the 4 people who've died in that one. But we also have a few other things that will hopefully lighten your Saturday morning. We have some exclusive photos of Molly Meldrum celebrating his birthday in a very low-key manner with some cake and balloons after having an accident over in Bali.
Oh, that'll be good, because we're all worried about Molly, that initially he didn't go to hospital, but then the x-rays showed broken ribs and dislocated this and dislocated that, and, he said he's a walking disaster.
Yeah, he is a bit. He's a bit accident-prone lately, but he's looking okay in these photos, which is good to see, and able to at least enjoy his birthday. And we've also got an interesting one, a bit colourful here. So the city of Yarra have considered, they're looking at painting their streets different psychedelic colours so that people can, be a bit more aware of the roads. And they're also looking at making streets that they say they want to make them less road-like.
Are you talking about the bitumen surface of the roads or the houses?
No, the actual road, the bitumen surface.
Really?
Yeah, so do you think that would make you drive a little safer if your roads were blue and green and pink?
Might distract you a bit.
I think it might.
I'm thinking you're going down Yellow Brick Road. I mean, they
clever.
painted the pavements and part of Collins Street some years back, and people were looking at it thinking, where's the turn go? And I don't know that it was that safe.
Well, we'll look for the photos in tomorrow's, or the computer images in the Herald Sun tomorrow. One more headline, please, Michelle.
The other one is an interesting one. Is as you're heading to the markets for your fresh fruit and veg on a Saturday, we've done a survey with the traders at Queen Vic Market who are just a little bit concerned about the $250 million revamp that the council are doing. So sort of have a look there at what they're saying. They're just wanting a bit more information about the future of the market.
Yeah, I know people who are very adamant they don't want the change. They've been there for years and I rather like it the way it is, but I'm a bit old-fashioned. Thanks, Michelle. Good reading in tomorrow's Herald Sun.
Michelle, just before you go, a little trivia question. I always enjoy reading my Herald Sun, and I'm still one of those old-fashioned people that loves the newspaper. But I go to the weather, and because we've been doing a promotion recently with Tiger Air and sending a family to Bali, I look for Denpasar, and it's never there, the weather in Denpasar, in the international weather forecasts.
Oh, well, I might have a chat to them and see if they can add that one in, because that would be a very popular one with everybody flying off there on a regular basis from Australia and from Melbourne.
Okay, well...
So just a little trivia one, maybe talk to Mr. Blunden or somebody and say, can we include it? David Mann said, can you pop it in the international weather?
Or, if necessary, go to Rupert Murdoch. Thanks,
Whatever
Michelle.
it takes.
Thanks, Michelle.
I think we'll take a quick call before the break. Rob, our Malvern tram driver. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Bruce. Hello, David.
G'day.
Hello, Rob. We had one in a phone box before. We could hear the tram going up the track. Are you driving? Well, you're not driving while you're talking to us, but are you actually working tonight?
No, I'm on holidays or on leave. My wife went in Wednesday night and she had a knee replacement yesterday.
Oh,
Okay, well, we wish you well. Now, I must alert you, we have about 90 seconds, Rob, so get to the
Three
point.
significant things. My eldest granddaughter, who's 9, was quite upset glad that she went back to school. She reckons the school holidays were too long.
Oh, interesting, yes.
Okay, my 4 and 3/4-year-old who started school yesterday told his mother last night that he was not going back to school, he was going back to kindergarten because the teacher made him work too hard.
Oh, I love that.
And the youngest granddaughter, who's 2 and a bit, almost got sent to hospital yesterday by her mother because every time her mother cleaned the house, she'd trash it.
Rob,
And David,
yes,
what role do you play in 3AW?
I'm promotions and marketing manager for 3AW and our sister station, Magic 1278.
Okay, can you please put a good word in for Phil and Bruce to get them back on for 4 hours, please?
Oh, yes, look, I'm happy to register that, and I think it's been said a few times, but there's lots of things happening, so we just make the most of what's happening right at this moment.
Hey, Rob, thanks for your support. We do have 4 hours on a Sunday night, you know, for Remember When.
And seeing it's the first time, is Rob still there?
4 hours during the week.
Yeah. Rob, I've got to ask a question. Trams, I love trams, but what is your favourite tram to drive and also your favourite tram route around Melbourne?
Well, my favourite tram route, because I work at Malvern, is the number 5, going up Wattle Tree Road and then down Dandenong Road, because there's less cars on that. And we have 38 Cabino trams, which are the German Siemens trams.
Yes.
They, even though they're a little bit rough on the curves, they are a beautiful tram to drive because they have so much power and they get up and go and stop on a dime.
Oh, yeah, and they look superb. I think they call them the Bumble. Oh, Remember When will be fun on Sunday night. Always is. We love our stroll down memory lane. And if you've just tuned in, Bruce is taking a couple of days off, just sort of rest up and getting ready for the weekend ahead. And yes, I spoke to him today and he was in great form and we had a few laughs over the phone together.
Look forward to hearing Bruce back Sunday night for Remember When at 8 o'clock. And I know what's coming up, the passing parade, but what I've also known, Phil, when you and Bruce are on air, nothing stops the passing parade. So you can be mid-sentence and in comes the man himself.
Oh, yes, I could be telling you something really serious about Oro or Tweety, and it wouldn't matter. John Doremus will just bounce him when he's ready.
How many years ago was the passing parade done?
Well, we had it at 3AW in the 1960s. I know the history of the passing parade. I'll share it with you sometime. It's really fascinating, David.
Hello again. This is John Doremus with the Passing Parade, the story of a head shrinker who devised a twisted philosophy. The only reason Dr. Wilhelm Reich is not remembered as one of medicine's most notorious charlatans is because it seems he really believed in his fantastic theories. I'll be back with his story after this message. The son of a wealthy Austrian farmer, Wilhelm Reich was born in March 1897. When Austria entered World War I in 1914, he joined the army and served without distinction until his discharge in 1918. As soon as he was able, he entered the University of Vienna and enrolled in the Faculty of Medicine. Fascinated by what was then regarded as an entirely new branch of medical science, Reich became a devoted disciple of the controversial Sigmund Freud. In 1924, he was appointed director of the Seminar for Psychoanalytic Therapy at Freud's Polytechnic Institute. During his 6 years in this post, Reich developed radical theories, which he believed resulted from divine revelation. He had often heard Freud speak of a mystic energy which built up in the human personality until it demanded release. Reich became more specific. To him, the energy was not mystic, but something chemical. He wrote a book on the subject. He lectured on it, and with all the compelling authority of conviction began attracting followers. His favorite instrument was the microscope. One day he heated some sand, soaked it in various solutions, and smeared it on a slide. He saw living units much smaller than any he had previously observed, and decided he had found a unit of life hitherto unknown to science. He called them bions. Bions, he said, coalesced and created cells. They were the basic givers of life. In March 1939, while studying them through his microscope, he saw a culture that looked like water in membrane bags. They pulsated. Here, he decided, was the origin of the strange energy. He called the phenomenon orgone. Under the auspices of an associate professor of psychiatry at Columbia University, Reich went to the United States and set to work raising funds by lecturing. He used the money to establish the Orgone Institute at Forest Hills, Long Island, a sort of gymnasium where patients with a surplus of orgone were taught exercises which released the energy. But for those who lacked orgone, Reich claimed he had a method of getting it into them. The method was simplicity itself. He had a carpenter build a box about 4.5 feet high with a door and a plain board seat. The walls of this Oregon energy accumulator comprise 2 layers of wood with a layer of thin metal between them. No one quite understood what it was all about, but patients flocked to fill their systems with a supply of the secret energy. Reich began mass-producing the boxes and even made a small machine which supposedly sprayed Oregon on the body. His claims that Oregon was the cure for practically everything led to an investigation by the Food and Drug Administration, which applied for an injunction restraining him from distributing Oregon devices. Reich ignored the injunction and was arrested. On May 3, 1956, he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. He was found dead in jail of a heart attack. Our time is up. This is John Doremus, and goodbye for now.
Off to the Bureau, and hello to Chris Godfred. Hello, Chris.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you both?
Oh, it was nice to hear that rumble of thunder today and get that soaking, wasn't it?
Well, I think it's nice as long as you can observe it from safely indoors. But I think given the dry weather we've had, especially in the last part of last year, I think any drop of rain we've had has been very welcome, and the ground has really drunk it up, hasn't it?
Now, a question from left field. Do you have a dog, Chris?
No, I'm actually more of a cat person, actually.
Oh, okay.
So.
I'm so proud of my little Oro, my golden retriever. You know, there's lightning flashing, there's thunder rumbling. He couldn't care less.
Oh, that's excellent.
So he's not a sook, is he?
Yeah, I've heard some of them can get very, very frightened. They often go and hide under the bed, and you don't see them pretty much until feeding time, I'd say, yes.
Chris, it's David Mann here, and nice to have a chat to you from the Bureau. What about that Geelong downpour? I heard someone say the most rain within sort of the records over a decade, and then someone said even potentially a 100-year history.
That is possible, yes. Unfortunately, at Avalon Airport, we haven't had a rain gauge there for 100 years. But I think just looking at the range of data that we do have available, you can make an inference, statistically speaking, that the rain was so heavy that at that site you wouldn't observe rain like that. Well, you would probably see it maybe once a century, basically.
And Chris, are there such things as rain shadows? Because I've been talking to people in Macedon Ranges area, and there's been lots of rain in Geelong, lots of rain coming across the bay and then heading sort of down south and then over to the east. But in parts of the ranges there, it's still very, very, very dry, and they haven't received a lot of rain.
You can certainly have them. I think most of the rain we've had lately has more been based on thunderstorms to a large extent. So if you haven't had any thunderstorms nearby, then you're not likely to get the rain. But in general terms, yeah, we certainly do get rain shadows, and actually Geelong sits in a pretty large rain shadow, which is due to the Otway Ranges. So if you have southwesterly winds, you'll tend to find that Geelong and the western suburbs of Melbourne don't get as much rain as the eastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Interesting analogy. David was talking about how animals cower and when there's a thunderstorm and they dive under the bed. Edna's inclined to do that too.
Yes, I've got a young daughter who's scared of storms as well, which for a meteorologist is a very shameful thing to admit.
Chris, I'll get us back on track now. The all-important forecast for Saturday, Sunday, the weekend.
All right. Well, we'll just say we had a max of 18.3 today, so just off the forecast max of 19, and we've had 1.2 mils of rain since 9 a.m. But what we're looking at tomorrow is you'll find that if you do look at the radar at the moment, a lot of the shower and rain activity has largely dried up. So we are set for a bit of a pause for the next 12 to 18 hours because we are expecting a fair bit of heavy rain to move through Gippsland. Now, Melbourne should miss that, but tomorrow we are set to see shower activity start to pick up as we move into the afternoon. So the day should start dry, though it will be fairly cloudy, a minimum of 12 and then a maximum of 23 with that shower or two, mainly during the afternoon, although we aren't expecting in broad terms for most places to get more than a couple of mils from those showers.
And how about Sunday into next week, please?
Well, it looks like at this stage, Sunday for Melbourne is set to be a bit wetter. The rain which is set for Gippsland is then going to start to spread westward. So Melbourne is a candidate for more rain to come through on Sunday, and also the chance of a thunderstorm during the afternoon as well. So 16 to 24 for Sunday. And as I said, if you do have any washing or laundry you want to get done, then I'd suggest the early part of tomorrow would be the best time to be doing it.
Okay, let's take us into early February. Go through the week, please.
Alrighty, we do finally start to see a bit of a rise in temperatures. Still going to be fairly muggy and unstable on Monday, 17 to 26, once again with a medium chance of showers and a northerly wind. But finally on Tuesday we do get a little bit of a flush out, and we warm up a bit to 28 after a minute of 15, and it does look like being a dry and mostly sunny day on Tuesday. And then as we start to move through the rest of the week, we do have a weak front which looks like it's going to cross Victoria during Wednesday. So 18 to 23 on Wednesday with a shower or two. Cooler on Thursday with just a follow-up shower in southerly winds, 16 to 21, and then to round off the week we start to warm up once again. A mostly sunny afternoon, 14 to 26.
Terrific, Chris. Well, the important ones right now, so tomorrow, Saturday, 12 up to 23, Sunday, 16 to 24. First day of the worker week on Monday, 17 up to 26, thanks to Chris Godfrey from the Bureau of Meteorology.
Welcome our country cousins, if you will, Dave.
3AW Wangaratta. We were talking about a Wangaratta before, and Kevin Howard and the people up there, and 2Q in Deniliquin. A long time since I've been to Deniliquin.
Never been there. Want to go there?
Very, very nice place.
Want to go to the Ute Master and the Root and Blues Festival.
Very hospitable people.
I'm sure.
Do they say Denny?
Yeah, I think that.
In Denny.
I'm chasing John Spry. I went to school with John and Xavier. He's from Deniliquin. Give us a call, John. You might win a prize.
Hello to Jeff from the Basin.
Oh, g'day there, Phil, and hello, David.
Hello, Jeff.
Look, guys, right at the start of the show, Phil, when you were talking about your little doggy and how he manages to know what time it is with your cuckoo clock.
Yes,
so,
mate, 5 minutes to the hour is going sitting in front of it, waiting to attack it.
It's incredible. It made me think straight away of our dog, and our dog will... I feed our dog at the same time every afternoon around about 4:30, and it's like the dog's got a built-in alarm clock. It'll come and start scratching at the back door no matter what, exactly at 4:30.
Yeah,
so
I believe it. Yeah.
It's amazing how they know that. But
what sort of dog have you got, Jeff?
Oh, it's a very expensive bit. So it was one that I can tell you. It was one my daughter. I was lucky enough. My daughter, well, I shouldn't say lucky. So my daughter moved out of home with her boyfriend and bought the dog, and then the relationship didn't work, and she came back with the dog. Subsequently moved out again, and I managed to keep the dog. It's one of those sort of dogs, you know, that Dad looks after it, and then it had some serious issues, and we spent over $7,000 at the vet on this dog.
Did you have pet insurance?
No, sadly, and I would recommend it to anyone now, Phil.
Yeah, I talked about it last week with Bruce. By the way, folks, Bruce just taken a couple of days off. Well-earned rest for Bruce. Take care, buddy. We are thinking of you, and wishing you well. But I took out with, I think the company's called Pet Plan, the day that Oro was born, and it's already, the premium I paid for the year, it's already paid for itself because the little boy had ear mites and things, and highly recommend pet insurance from a very young age. Jeff?
Absolutely, Phil. I mean, you couldn't go wrong with it, I'm sure. It's just you never know what's going to happen with the dog, and vets are so expensive when something does it.
Oh, are they ever? Yeah.
And you know, you love the thing, and no matter what, you'll pay whatever it takes to keep the dog going, sort of thing. But look, just quickly, guys, too, you talked earlier about the husky.
Yes.
And I've always wondered. I mean, those dogs have got sort of fur and a coat that's designed to be out in the snow and in minus whatever temperatures, and you just wonder how they do survive in some of our Melbourne temperatures where it's really hot one day and cold the next, or I don't know whether they evolve or develop or something, but sometimes you think, we're going to 30-something degree plus day, and one of these poor huskies out there in that sort of weather, you wonder how they survive it.
I think they survive because people who have animals are normally really good people, and hopefully the majority look after them, and they know when it's really hot what to do. And I tell you what, that Siberian Husky was lovely. But we did at Max. He was a Burmese, and you're talking about expenses. He was diabetic, and he had various things happen to him. And you'd do anything for your animals, and we'd take him to the vet, and you just walk in, and they'd say, look, this is going to be quite expensive. We'll have an overnight stay, and you just say, just whatever it is, look after him. And people sacrifice eating or, paying the mortgage
yeah.
to make sure their animals are healthy. But, Phil, I heard you talk about that pet insurance. Good idea.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have more of an affinity with animals than I do with people. Now, I shouldn't admit that when I'm doing
Oh, do you want me to
radio.
leave?
Oh, no, you're all right.
Why
You
don't we
can
get a
say.
station cat or dog?
Hang on, David. Let me throw you a bone. And folks, we're back on AM 693. Welcome to you. If you missed the first hour or so of Nightline tonight, you are doubly welcome. Bruce taking night off. I'm trying to guess what he might be doing. He might be at the Georgie Girl. Maybe he's gone to see Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. Maybe Kate Blanchett in Carol, the dressmaker. Who knows? What's your guess, David?
Oh, I think he'd probably go to the cricket.
I think
He'd be a big cricket person.
You know, I think he's fast asleep.
18 past 11, 3AW. And I tell you what, it's nice to say hello to our friends at Wangaratta and Deniliquin, and also our friends at Prestige Jayco. Now, Prestige Jayco still have some excellent 2015 stock that they need cleared. So John and Joan Spencer have said, hey, let's move this stock. Call and speak to one of the friendly sales consultants for a 2015 clearance bargain.
Right you are, David, man. Huge savings across a range of new and used pop-tops, expanders, caravans, and, of course, motorhomes.
Buying your Jayco van, hello Jerry Ryan, from Prestige Jayco means that you instantly become a loyalty member. You can then receive 10% off all accessories right across the store.
You know everybody. Peter Blunden, you know Jerry Ryan, you know John and Joan Spence, Rupert Murdoch. I'm very impressed. Become a part of the Prestige Jayco family and fill the camera with new memories this year from Bellarine Highway, Geelong.
Bellarine Highway, Geelong, and I popped in there one time, and the first time I met Joan and John Spence, it was just wonderful. They treat you like family because they're part of the AW family.
I know.
But for Dennis Walter's birthday last year, people take along a nice bottle of red or white or some memorabilia. They took along a caravan, a mini caravan with a garden in it, and they'd made it themselves. It was fantastic.
How good is that? Like a miniature?
Yes.
Oh, how nice is
and
that?
it had a lovely sort of message on it, but it was just so clever. I think Joan had handcrafted it. So, Prestige Jayco, Bellarine Highway, Geelong, 2015 stock clearance.
Was it like a birthday cake in the form of a caravan? No?
No, it was like a mini garden in a caravan.
Oh, Dennis deserves that.
Now, you mentioned Rupert Murdoch.
Yes.
Well, I was with his nephew during the week.
Oh, God, big time.
Yeah, true. Paul Hanbury. Paul Hanbury is... uncle is Rupert Murdoch.
And they used to be part of the radio network, which took Nightline.
Very much so still, Mr. Jeff
Would
Hanbury.
that be the Ace Radio Network?
It is, Ace Radio Network, and very much I'll say it, a philanthropist. Mr. Hanbury has sponsored and helped a lot of causes, but I was with his son Paul Hanbury, during the week, and Rupert Murdoch's getting married.
Yes, so we believe they're a well-loved family, no doubt about it, as was Dame Elizabeth. She was just one in a million.
I spoke about Dame Elizabeth in my Australia Day address down at Mount Eliza.
Oh, Mount Eliza, okay.
And I said that Dame Elizabeth always said, be a realist, but an optimist too. So she was saying if there's something bad you've got to face or something that's happening, it's reality, but be an optimist. And one of the best interviews I ever saw was at the RACV Club for the Order of Australia Association. Neil Mitchell interviewed Dame Elizabeth for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that'll be something to remember.
It was unbelievable. Neil was very nervous. He was very nervous, but it was one of the best interviews. But a lovely. I'd love to meet Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
I think he'd be fascinating. Have you met him?
No, but I wouldn't mind making a movie for him at 20th Century Fox. Coming to you, John and Grant, and wouldn't Bruce be furious if I got a part in the movie? He'd never forgive me. John, Grant, and Sandra, Kyra, promise, Queenie, promise to get to you.
I know we're going to a break, Phil, but there's something happening. How's your pilot going? Graham Hill is at Channel 9 in Perth.
Oh, no, I can't go to Perth.
And I've seen a lot of emails coming backwards and forwards.
Oh, yeah, but that quiz show is under wraps.
Under wraps, okay.
Now, Robin's at Box Hill. Hi, Robin.
Hi there, Philip and David. How are you?
Welcome.
Well, thank you, Robin.
I'm just sending a whole big bundle of love to Bruce if he's listening.
Yes.
We all are.
Yeah. I've just got a funny story about one of my dogs that I adopted. You were talking earlier, David, about dingoes.
Yes.
Well, I had a dingo cross corgi.
Oh.
A long time ago, and she was a companion to two of my other dogs, and I adopted her from a shelter and lived out the bush. We had a big block and it was fenced. Anyway, she was she was picked to go on to Neighbours with a couple of other dogs in one of the storylines where Bouncer escapes from his home and ends up in the pound.
Right.
Anyway, she was so well behaved and a natural actress and everything that when we brought her home, I said to her, look, you guys are all going to get a treat tonight. You just stay there, and I went off out shopping. When I got back, all the dogs were missing.
Oh.
And I called, and then finally I heard the larger of the dogs, she was an Irish wolfhound, barking, and then I saw them coming up the back paddock. And two of them had a white shopping bag in their mouths, the dingo corgi cross, who was just so smart. She could work out anything. And, of course, the Irish wolfhound, who was a silk, wasn't going to be in this mischief. And when they got to me, she'd taken them off somewhere and found someone's butcher shop delivery.
I was going to say that. Yeah, picked
and
up
there
the
was
bag.
legs of lamb and sausages and chops and minced steak and the whole lot. And she wouldn't let go of it. So I thought, all right, I'll know what I'll do. Right? So I let them go right up to where their bowls were, and of course then she pulled the bag and pulled all the meat out, like tipping it out into a bowl, and then I whisked it away. So there was no surprises for her. But that dingoes are so smart. I never knew where that meat came from. No one ever came and knocked on my door and complained. But they went out and she was upset because I took her home after she'd been fussed over so much on the set of Neighbours. And she probably thought, right, well, I'll take myself off and get up to mischief.
And
so they went and stole someone's complete week's meat delivery.
Did she have those strong dingo features?
Yes. Never barked. She always made howling or squeaking noises, or she never barked or yapped. She used to scream if a helicopter went over or an airplane, and if an ambulance went past, she'd toss her head back and howl like a wolf.
So what's the story? Are we allowed to adopt dingoes? What's the story?
Well, she was a dingo on top, but she had little corgi legs.
Oh, yes, as you said, yes.
So,
like a crossbreed, yeah.
I've only ever seen one other dingo back then. I know that you can have dingoes now, but I think you have to get a licence.
Correct.
Yeah, they're all over Fraser Island, Queensland, running wild.
One time, Phil, there's, I'm sure the lady's name is Lynn Watson. She's up in the Macedon Ranges. And also Teree Gordon in Castlemaine. They've got the dingo farm. They have the Girralinga Wildlife Park and Sanctuary.
Yeah.
But to bring one in, they're very, very focused animals. And one night when you and Bruce are here, I'll see whether one of the either Lynn or Teree Gordon could bring a dingo into the studio and tell you a little bit of the history.
I'll probably fall in love with it, I imagine.
You would.
Hey, listen. Hey, Robin, listen.
Oh, well done. Oh, Robin, you're a winner.
Oh, no.
And after 2 weeks, you're our last winner on Nightline.
I don't believe it.
We've had 20 winners, and you're number 20 with a double return ticket to any Tiger Air destination. David will tell you where they go.
And
But I've never been in an aeroplane.
Oh, Robin, you'll love this. You can take your choice of Adelaide, Brisbane, Cairns, Coffs Harbour, Darwin, Gold Coast, Hobart, Perth, Sydney, or the Whitsunday Coast, flying with Tiger Air. And the great news is you've got a double return ticket to any of those destinations.
Oh, my goodness.
But on behalf of Phil and Bruce...
I've never been in an aeroplane. I'm so thrilled.
Well, you might even end up going further because you're also in the draw for the major prize, which Nightline has. And are you ready, Robin, for this? You're in the draw for return airfares and a week's accommodation for a family, so 2 adults and 2 children, at Hotel Mercure Bali Legian. Now, I know that hotel because I've been to Legian, and it's a very, very new hotel, and that's thanks to Tiger Air, who fly direct from Melbourne to Bali daily starting the 23rd of March. So you've got the double pass, but you're in the draw for the big prize.
Oh, goodness. Oh, thank you so much.
And Robin will announce the grand winner Monday night. You right for that, Robin?
What's that?
We'll announce the winner of the Bali Prize Monday night.
Oh,
Good luck.
listen.
All right, congratulations, Rob. That's the answer, Queenie. Take care of yourself. No more falls.
And I know that we're thinking of Ian and Kath Sutherland too, 2AW listeners that Ian's mum had, talking of falls, had a fall and is in hospital. So to everybody who's on the list of not in the best of health, we're thinking of you. Be positive, and let's hope there's lots of luck, health and happiness for the remainder of this year.
Amen to that.
22 minutes away from the bewitching hour at midnight, and of course it's Nightline and the full board here. Kyra, hi at Seaford.
Hello, David. Hello, Phil. How are you?
Hey, g'day, Kyra.
Yeah. Phil, I just rang you up just quickly to just let you know Dakota started school on Thursday.
Oh, how exciting. I hope you took some photos.
I certainly did, Phil.
Yeah.
I certainly did. She looked very nice in a little Cannonock primary.
You know, Dave and I were going to talk about first day at school tonight, but we never got around to it. There's so much going on, you know.
Did you get a bit emotional, Kyra?
Yeah, I did, David, actually. Yeah, I certainly did. I think I did more than what she did, you know. That's my daughter that passed away as a little girl.
Yes, I know.
Daughter.
And
I've raised her for 5 years, and she's got a speech therapy, David, but, you know, there's some teachers at Cannonock Primary School there for, there's a few other kids from kinder with speech therapy too. So,
and did she enjoy her first day at school?
Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
What was the highlight?
Oh, just to meet just the teacher's name's Mrs. Jones, just to getting to know the kids and, you know, as soon as she got in there, they had, you know, pencils and a little drawing board.
Yes.
She went for that instead of meeting all the other kids, you know. She's just so excited, you know, starting school, you know, but...
Well, maybe you could ask us to draw something for Bruce and Phil, that she could send in something, you know, to the radio station with a picture of Bruce, a picture of Phil from your lovely granddaughter there.
All right, you must be so happy about that, Kyra. Thanks for sharing that with us. I got such a shock. You know, among the Christmas cards we got, and we received hundreds of them, and Bruce and I returned every one, you know.
It's about 500 you sent out.
Yes, we did, and because I was in the hospital over Christmas, they arrived late. But I got such a shock. Every year, a lovely lady called Tam O'Brien from Currumbara sends a huge box of goodies for everybody on air, including Jade Edmondson and Peter Hitchener, and she wraps every present individually, more than 30 of them, in a huge box, sends it to me to distribute the presents, which I'm happy to do. And she has a lovely family, including Liam. And I was so shocked when I wrote back a thank you card to her. She didn't ever receive it because I learned that she died in her sleep the night before she received our card. Isn't that sad?
Oh.
Yeah, so you just never know, do you?
But her family, friends or family would have received it knowing that you were appreciative.
We became good pals because years ago her pet died, a rainbow lorikeet or a lovebird of some kind, canary or whatever, and I replaced the bird for her. And ever since, she's sort of been so grateful and such a lovely friend to me.
It's sad at any time with anyone's passing, but particularly when it's on those the Christmas time or
and when they're
Easter
when they're so young too, you know. It came as a shock. So our sympathy to the O'Brien family.
But Phil, there's hope. There's hope because that breakthrough with leukemia during the week, right here, Melbourne, Australia, has done the research, and you know they're not sort of trumping it up at the moment, but saying there is hope. So every week that goes by, there's hope for people,
and not only hope but faith too.
Yes.
Don't lose your trust in God. That's my philosophy. Hi, Sandra from Gully.
Good evening, Phil and David.
G'day.
Good evening, Sandra. Nice to hear from you.
I couldn't ring in last night, but I just quickly, first of all, I wanted to say you talked about meeting personalities in your past in your life. I actually met you, Phil, on the set of IMT when I was about 11 years old.
Oh, how amazing. And you remember it, Sandra?
I do. You signed my autograph book, and you were so friendly and so so handsome. I was just besotted.
Would it have been one of those nights when Graham had a night off and I was comparing the show? Maybe, Sandra, was it?
I can't remember that, but I definitely remember after the show had finished, we got to talk to the people on the show, and I was just beside myself. So.
Oh, how lovely. I wish in those days we'd done a selfie together, don't you?
Well, talking about selfies, I'm ringing about mobile phones as well, and I do some volunteer work with some elderly people who are embracing, getting mobile phones, and we help them to get a basic one and learn some of it. I mean, sometimes it's a bit like the blind leading the blind, but because I'm not that savvy with it, but I'm okay. So we help them to sort of just be able to, make a call or emergency call or send a text, and it's just amazing how they, they're responding to that kind of technology. And I think I know everyone's walking around with mobiles in their hand, and I saw a girl fall down an escalator one day because she just wasn't watching where she was going. But when you think about it, you know, I grew up in the 60s and I'd go off to work of a day and everyone had a newspaper shoved in their face, right, reading
Yes.
it all the way on the train or the tram. Now everyone has a mobile in their face.
Or headphones on.
That's right.
They wear
So they're-
headphones, they can't hear emergency vehicles, and they
That's
can't
right.
hear any traffic noise.
You know, Sandra, I occasionally take a cruise ship and say it's close to the coast, like between Melbourne and Sydney. People spend the whole time on the ship SMSing and using their mobile phone. Why go on holidays at all? I mean, leave your mobile behind.
Yes, and it's very rude. When I'm out, I put mine on silent. I never answer my phone, you know, in doctor's surgeries or if I'm out or at dinner. It's just wrong. It's just so bad manners.
Sandra, I must ask you one thing before we go to John at Bayswater. You mentioned a great word, autograph. I collect autographs. Have you still got the Philip Brady autograph from the IMT days? Have you kept your autograph book?
I do. I have Philip Brady. I have Bon Scott. I have many people from that era. I certainly do.
Well done.
And did I write in your autograph book, Sandra, make it easy on yourself? Philip Brady, GDB 9. What did I write?
You did.
I wrote those exact words.
You did.
I remember. I think I remember you, Sandra. You were
Oh, you
gorgeous.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
You wouldn't.
you were 11 and you were gorgeous.
That will have gone up a lot in value since those days.
Sandra, I remember the freckles. I remember the plaits. I'll never forget you. John of Bayswater, hi to you.
Hi, John.
Good evening, David and Phil.
Hi, John. Good to hear from you.
And you too. I collect autographs, and in fact, I've got David Mann's autograph.
Oh, my God. That won't be worth the paper it's written on.
Well, I know it goes a long way back. Ambulance headquarters, Latrobe Street, when you were doing the bus tours on the weekend.
Oh, gee. Well, what I quite often write is good luck, health and happiness for now and the future. David G. Mann, 3AW. So I don't know what I wrote in those days, but hopefully it was more than just a signature, unless it was on something specific.
It was just it was a little bit more. But what I was ringing about, someone was inquiring about the Huskies tolerating the heat.
Yes.
And when I was travelling around Alaska, I noticed the Huskies do all their training during the summer, and some of their summer days are just as hot as what we have here. Although they have the streams to go in and cool off, but to keep them as a team, they train them the whole time.
And John, you mentioned, have you got a husky, a Siberian husky?
No. It's just that I've been listening tonight and I heard someone query about them tolerating the heat.
Yes, yeah. Well, I tell you what, this dog that I saw, Ranger was his name. I think that he would have needed to be looked after in the heat because it was he had a good coat on him.
Yeah.
All right, nice story, John. Happy weekend to you. Gigi, sorry we're out of time tonight, and the others who are trying to get through. You're so popular, David. You're on air so rarely. Everybody wants to talk to you, and it appears everyone wants your autograph.
Oh, look, it's been great, Phil, and it's lovely. All the Nightliners ringing in, and Bruce back Sunday evening. But it is the Nightline family, and that's the thing that's developed over the years with both of you that very much a part of the program.
Okay, and those who feel shortchanged with the 2-hour show, don't forget Sunday night, remember when? As usual, 4 hours from 8.
Breeze Air, cool air everywhere. The Breeze Air guarantee, cool and fresh naturally.
House too hot? Don't shut yourself in. Breeze Air cools your whole home from the cost of running a single light globe with the doors and windows open. Breeze Air, naturally cooler.
Breeze Air, cool air everywhere. The Breeze Air guarantee, cool and fresh naturally.
Call the Breeze Air Cool line on 1300 946 044 or visit breezeair/summer.
Are you healthy and aged between 65 and 75 years? If so, you may be eligible for a clinical study investigating a new Alzheimer's disease medication. Participants in clinical studies are reimbursed for their time. If you're interested and would like more information, please contact the Centre for Clinical Studies on 1800 243 733. That's 1800 243 733. Or visit clinicalstudies.com.au.
Everyone loves to travel, and working in travel is an exciting and rewarding career. Jet Set Training College, located in the city, has certificate for travel courses commencing soon. The Jet Set Training College has been established for over 20 years and is committed to training excellence with an exceptionally high job placement at the end of the course. And eligible students receive Victorian and Commonwealth government funding. For course and fee information, log on to jetsettraining.com.au or call 9600 1811.
If you've just bought a big TV, or in the market for one, there's something you may not have considered about the box it comes in. Many burglars look out for big cardboard boxes out near your bins, and garbage collection day is kind of like window shopping for crims. An ADT monitored security system is just $299 fully installed, and that means we're always there, monitoring your home, especially on Recycle Garbage Day. Total minimum cost for 3 years is just $1,613. Conditions apply. ADT Security, always there.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. National Tiles is winning more home builders than ever before. Yes, every day more and more registered home builders, large and small, are coming to National Tiles. Why? Because no other tile company in Australia is going to the lengths to satisfy large and small builders like National Tiles is. Things like $10,000 instant credit, guaranteed fixed pricing, premium range lifetime guarantees, rebates and much more. So if you're a registered builder, contact National Tiles now about your special requirements, whatever they are. I guarantee you that at National Tiles, we'll turn ourselves inside out to accommodate your needs. Go to nationaltiles.com.au now.
The Flight Centre Early Bird Sale is on now. See the best of Spain and Portugal with Cosmos on a 9-day tour from only $105 per day. Call Flight Centre on 131600. For terms and conditions, visit flightcentre.com.au.
Instructions for giving your cat a tablet. Number 1, pick cat up and cradle in the crook of your left arm as if holding a baby. Position right forefinger and thumb on either side of the cat's mouth and gently apply pressure to cheeks while holding tablet in right hand. As cat opens mouth, pop tablet into mouth. Allow cat to close mouth and swallow. 2, retrieve tablet from floor and cat from behind sofa. Cradle cat in left arm and repeat process. 3, retrieve cat from bedroom and throw soggy tablet away. 4, take new tablet from foil wrap, cradle cat in left arm, holding rear paws tightly with left hand. Force jaws open and push tablet to the back of the mouth with right forefinger. Hold mouth shut for a count of 10. 5, retrieve tablet from goldfish bowl and cat from the top of a wardrobe. Call spouse from the garden. 6, kneel on floor with cat wedged firmly between knees, holding front and rear paws. Ignore low growls emitted by cat. Get spouse to hold cat's head firmly with one hand while forcing wooden ruler into mouth. Drop tablet down ruler and rub cat's throat vigorously. 7, retrieve cat from curtain rail. Get another tablet from foil wrap. Make note to buy new ruler and repair curtains. Carefully sweep shattered figurines from the fireplace to set to one side for gluing later. 8, wrap cat in large towel and get spouse to lie on cat with its head just visible from below spouse's armpit. Put tablet in the end of the drinking straw. Force cat's mouth open with pencil and blow down drinking straw. 9, check labels to make sure tablet is not harmful to humans. Drink glass of water to take taste away. Apply Band-Aid to spouse's forearm and remove blood from carpet with cold water and soap. 10, retrieve cat from neighbour's shed. Get another tablet. Place cat in cupboard and close door onto neck, leaving the head showing. Force mouth open with dessert spoon. Flick tablet down the throat with an elastic band. 11, fetch screwdriver from the garage and put door back on hinges. Apply cold compress to cheek and check records for the date of the last tetanus shot. Throw T-shirt away and fetch a new one from the bedroom. Ring fire brigade to retrieve cat from a tree across the road. Apologise to neighbour who crashed into a fence while swerving to avoid cat. Take last tablet from foil wrap. Tie cat's front paws to rear paws with garden twine and bind tightly to leg of a dining table. Find heavy-duty pruning gloves from the shed. Force cat's mouth open with a small spanner. Push tablet into mouth, followed by a large piece of fillet steak. Hold head vertically and pour pint of water down the throat to wash tablet down. 14. Get spouse to drive you to emergency room. Sit quietly while doctor stitches fingers and forearm and removes tablet from your right eye. Stop by furniture shop on the way home and order a new tablet and table. Number 15. Arrange vet to make a house call.
Copyright restricts distribution of this piece by any means of duplication.
And just to cheer Bruce up, here's the war cry. Bruce, Bruce, Bruce. Rah, rah, rah. There you are. How's that? Hey, thanks, Bianca Johnson, for your expertise. And David, of course, I enjoy your company. We've been buddies, well, 40 years or more now.
That's right, Phil. I was your panel operator back in the 70s, and always a pleasure to work with you. Thank you, Bianca, too. Bianca, executive producer, answering the phones, playing the ads, and doing it all. We've gone from Siberian Huskies to autographs to it's Oro, isn't it?
Oro, yes, Spanish for...
Hello, Oro, if you're listening. Would he be listening to the radio?
Yeah, he'll prick up his ears now and try and eat the radio.
And you know what he's waiting for, Phil? 12 o'clock with the cuckoo clock.
He is. It's only 4 minutes away, Oro. He'll be hypnotised by that. To the sick, the sad, the lonely, the homeless, the helpless, the hapless. You're always in our hearts, always in our thoughts. And we look forward to Sunday night at 8 for Remember When. And David, look forward to your company again soon.
Thank you, Phil, and to all the Nightliners, have a pleasant 4 minutes left of today and a great weekend.